Boom! Welcome to the Quarter Pound Podcast. It's your boy Sebs with Gib, and today we're breaking down UFC St. Petersburg super quickly, very quick. We're doing it today. Gonna be like half an hour, probably at most, I could say. But yeah, already let's jump right into it. No time for this. First fight of the night: Magomed Mustafayev versus Rafael Fiziev. Literally just watched Fiziev. Very impressed with him. I like that he trains out at Tiger Muay Thai. Nice stand-up, good Muay Thai. Good power in his hands too. Was originally supposed to fight Joey Gomez on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. He withdrew, so I think he got hurt or something, or sick, something like that. And then he fought in. He got signed to Titan, so he fought in Titan. Nasty body kick to finish this guy to Kev or whatever. Only thing is he hasn't faced the best competition as I'm looking at his record right now. Not the best competition at all he's faced. And he's going against a guy, Magomed Mustafayev, who's actually faced like guys like Kevin Lee, Abubakar Nurmagomedov, like pretty good fight.
By far toughest fight.
Yeah, for sure his toughest fight so far. I'm going to go with Fiziev on this fight. I think Fiziev has a better striking, and Mustafayev has never landed a takedown inside the UFC, to my knowledge. I don't think he gets one here. If he does, I think it's only maybe one, and I don't think he holds down Fiziev rather too long. I think Fiziev is the better striker and can light him up, but Magomed Mustafayev does have a nasty clinch, has some nasty body kicks, and some heavy hands as well. So this should be a little bit of a war. I see Mustafayev like probably being even a little bit better than his last fight against Kevin Lee with this layoff here. It's fucking 3 years pretty much. But yeah, I like Fiziev here. I think Rafael Fiziev is the better striker here. That's a guy I'm going to be looking to play definitely in the future. But we've never seen Fiziev on his back as well. Nope. Something else that it could be a problem, right? So I'm going to stay away from this fight. I was going to play it, but something's telling me not to. So I got Fiziev, but no play on him. Good.
You know what? Magomed Mustafayev, he's a real deal. I mean, he fought against Kevin Lee for a reason. His body strikes, I think he opened up with a nice body kick, and that could be in this fight. The only problem is I could see Rafael Fiziev making him pay for every single mistake on the feet. Very good Muay Thai fighter, great leg kicks, good hooks. He's very adamant on aiming for those high overhand hooks and a lot of good leg kicks and body kicks. He can keep people back, but his style is definitely a little incomplete. Not very much of a grappler. Haven't seen him off his back. And in terms of competition, Joey Gomez was probably going to be his toughest going into the Dana White Contender Series if he took that fight, or if that fight was given to him. Obviously he got the Titan FC fight, but Magomed is going to be his biggest fight as of yet, and we don't know what's going to happen as his first. So I can see fight really lighting him up on the feet, but once this guy gets you on the floor, it can be tough. Magomed got power bombed by Kevin Lee a few times and still got up, very tough. But his counter wrestling is definitely there. His grappling is there. Doesn't throw very much, and again, if Rafael can take advantage of this, he can definitely make it look easy. But Magomed, if he gets a clinch or gets his first takedown in the UFC, there's gonna be no problems for him. It's a tough fight, maybe just to be different, but I actually like this guy Rafael Fiziev, and like I said, if he can outstrike him, get to spots quicker, which he normally does, I think he got this. So I'm actually going to take a chance on this, and I'm going to put it on Rafael Fiziev. I have a few DraftKings that I made, but not with him on it yet. And yeah, I'll reveal those names for the episode.
Okay, next fight, Gadzurmad, I can never say his name, Gadzurmurad Antagulov taking on Michael Oleszczuk.
Well, that was a good one.
Yeah, I did good on the last one there. But I think his name's like Michelle, too. I don't know if it's Michael. But I got Antagulov here. I got 3 units on Antagulov at plus 175. I want to slap whoever made that line pretty much. Like, I don't think Antagulov should be a fucking underdog at all in this fight. In my opinion, definitely not. Like, it's a guy he's a literal fucking animal. Like when he gets you on the floor, it's game over, bro. It's like he's just so strong. He's huge for the weight class too. Absolutely huge, man. He could definitely fight at heavyweight.
7,500 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's a good play right there. I would definitely take him on DraftKings. Yeah. But okay, Oleinik has good movement and shit, like pretty decent striking, but he was getting lit up by Khalil Roundtree. And like Khalil had his neck and everything in a guillotine. If that was Antigulov, you're going to sleep. You're going to fucking sleep, bro. That's not going to happen. I do think Antigulov gets Oleinik down. That's the whole reason I put the play on him. I think it's disgusting that he's plus 175. I don't think I'm going to do putting the description and everything this week because we don't got a lot of time, but he is, in my opinion, the best underdog on the card. I really like even the play on him by inside the distance, like plus 350 on Betway, which is unbelievable. Like by sub, it's like plus 400, and which is, I think he can definitely hit a sub here too. But I just stayed clean, put the 3 units on plus 175. And I got Gazimad Antigulov here. I think he just is going to out-wrestle Oleinik rather quickly. He shoots that single leg very well. And once he gets you down, he's just a fucking monster on top of you. So I got Antigulov 3 units at plus 175. Gib?
Godzi Murad, I mean, this guy always seems to get the takedown right away. He did it in the Kutalaba fight, which he did lose, but Kutalaba is a warrior. And the elbows and the short strikes that he had landed were strikes that he landed as Antigulov was going in. He does tend to have his head right forward, but if he gets a hold of your leg or any sort of clinch, you're going right down to the floor, and it's anchor town because you're going to because that guy's going to be strapped to you. He has a triangle that he looks to set up, lots of chokes, even a knee bar in his VFC fight. This guy's really good rear naked chokes, and again, his ground game can really start to affect people as soon as he gets it there. Starts to really push people around. Whereas Michael Alexej starts off with some really nice hooks and uppercuts in the very beginning of the rounds. His strikes are very precise, but as the rounds go on, he does tend to kind of fizzle down. In the Khalil Roundtree fight, he got absolutely mauled on the fence in the end of the first round and kind of had to weather the storm even after that choke, which, again, if Antigulov had, it would be over. The ground is definitely the worst place for him to be. When he works in the pocket, he does do pretty well, but if he stays a little too long, I think Antigulov can tag him. He doesn't throw very much, but he's not throwing nothing. He's kind of pairing his way in, and he's really looking to grapple with you, but he's got a pretty good overhand, and he can chase you with like a leaping left hook if he really wants to. Again, like maybe guys who use a lot of short shots and are very fast can really keep him away and have him damage as he comes in. But I can see Michael Azushik giving up a lot if he gets on the ground or gets up against the fence, because it was a lot of places where he lost against Khalil Roundtree. Again, Khalil Roundtree came off a Gokhan Saki knockout, so very impressive in that. So obviously this guy's losing to an upper echelon guy, but I do think that if he gets to the ground, it could be over. And once Antigulov gets that back, I think the choke is pretty much imminent. So I got Antigulov in this one, and again, for a 7,400 pick on DraftKings, that's not bad. I think a lot of people who are at 7,000 are pretty good picks.
Yeah. Okay, next one is Shamil Abdurrahimov versus Mersin Tabura. I got Tabura here, no play on him. I just think Shamil literally throws fucking nothing on the feet. He's very inactive, and he's not the best wrestler. On the older end too, at 37 years old.
Do you think the winner fights Derrick Lewis?
I fucking hope not.
Oh, that'd be awesome. They both fought him. Get a little rematch.
Oh yeah, Tabura fought him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Tabura here. I think Tabura is gonna outstrike him, maybe knock him out, but I don't think Shamil has enough to to beat Marcin. I think Marcin's too good on the feet for Shamil. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I think part of Marcin Tybura's big hype, he went up against Fabricio Verdum after fighting Andrei Arlovsky, and he was pretty much put right up against the top guys. And as much as Steven Struve has been on a bit of a down streak, I still think that fight was still good for Struve, and Marcin Tybura handled him as well. If if this fight is bet on the Derrick Lewis fight, I mean, technically, Abdurakhimov lasted a little bit longer. I think he got knocked out in the fourth round, whereas Marcin Tybura got knocked out in the third. But again, Marcin Tybura I thought was really handling Derrick Lewis in the beginning, had some great strikes, and I think he's a little bit more well-rounded. He feints low, kicks high. He's got some good, really good turning kicks. Keeps opponents from kind of turning away. Tends to use that big overhand. He's got real good success with that, with kicks following up after. He's got some great combos, very deadly for heavyweight. Whereas Shamil is a bit of a waiter. His ground game is real top as well, but so is Marcin Tybura's. Again, if he gets you on the floor, he'll go for that arm bar. He's got some pretty decent takedowns and some pretty decent sprawls on the feet. Again, I just think the weighting really, really kills him. He's got to go at the jump. If anything, I actually think he should take the fight right to Tybura in the very beginning, but that's very kind of unlike his style. He's very, very, very cautious. So just on that note, I think Marcin Tybura is a little cooler under that pressure. And again, if he doesn't leave him alone for too long and let Shamil just kind of wait, similar to how a lot of people lose against Derrick Lewis, they just give him so much rest time and he lands the bomb. I still think Marcin Tybura can handle him and maybe get back into the heavyweight good graces after Steven Struve win. So yeah, I got Marcin Tybura in that one.
Okie dokie. Next fight, Yakovlev versus Alex De Silva. I'll let you take this one, Gib.
You know what? Alexander Yakovlev has not been having a good run. Losing to Zach Cummings, losing to Kamaru Usman, but I think Kamaru Usman's the champ, so it speaks a lot. Now it's his first fight coming back after a while, after that Zach Cummings loss. But Alex De Silva, on the other hand, I don't know. I've seen him on some kind of outside shows from the UFC, a little sloppy. I think this guy's decent. He actually tends to kind of wake up as the fight goes on, but he really gets clipped a lot early. He had a fight with Daniel Swain, which he actually ended up winning in the second round, but the very beginning was not going well for him. And I felt like other fighters in that position in the UFC would probably be able to end him. Now, Alex De Silva doesn't really have very many submissions. He got a lot of them early. He has a lot of them early on, but as of recently, he's kind of been a knockout guy. Got a guillotine against Fernando Coleman as well, but I just don't think he can make that happen against Yakovlev. I think maybe fighting Kamaru Usman and Zach Cummings was a lot too soon after the George Sullivan fight, but he did do pretty well against Gray Maynard. It's been a while. Hopefully the rest helps him out. I think he can possibly take him out just based off of experience in the UFC, the amount of fights he's had, and kind of what punches and kicks he's already throwing. He tends to kind of run around a lot, very similar to Cajun Johnson type fighting, but he does throw, and he does have some pretty decent hooks when people come on the inside, has some pretty decent kicks. I think he really needs to stay in the middle of the octagon and kind of use that movement as the fight progresses to keep away from them. But again, I think if he can kind of hone that style, he can definitely get his first win back in a while. So yeah, I think I got Alexander Yakovlev.
All right. I also got Yakovlev. I think Yakovlev should be able to work his takedowns. Didn't watch too much on Alex De Silva. all right striker. Didn't see him too much on the ground as well. But I do think Yakovlev will be able to take him down and handle him there. Yakovlev is a veteran, old school. But I still think he has what it takes to beat this guy. All right, so next up we got the next fight.
Sultan Ali.
Sultan Ali. Oh my God, watch this. Sultan Ali versus Keita Nakamura. I got Nakamura by sub. I just think he takes him down and is able to sub Sultan. I don't think too highly of Sultan. I don't really think too highly of Nakamura either. Now that he's a little bit older, he was okay earlier in his career, but not so much anymore. He's still good at jiu-jitsu and everything, though. Good grappler, so I'm going to go with Nakamura. I think he's able to secure the takedown and get a finish.
Yeah, I same thing. Nakamura, very good in that striking match with Alex Morono. I really advise people to go watch that. A very entertaining fight. And I think anyone who strikes with Alex Morono is in for that type of pressure. He makes people pay to have their hands down in any sort of mistake. And, I believe some of those shots landed on Morono, I think anyone would have hit the floor. And, he is known as a pretty decent striker, but very good grappler. I think the submission is always kind of around the corner for him, especially that rear naked choke. He hasn't gotten a submission in a while after this decision against Salim Turahari. A little bit iffy as well as a split decision against Morono. So again, if this stays on the feet and becomes striking, it could be a very, very close fight. These guys are both around the same age, and regardless of fight experience, Aliyev and Nakamura have put the time in and have really killed it. Sultan Aliyev, this guy's a danger from Dagestan. Great sambo background, the odd punch, but very, very tough nut to crack. Once he gets that overhand, goes for takedowns, it's very, very rough. And if you don't have that stamina to keep going, it's going to be very difficult because he suffocates you with pressure, whether it's on the floor or kind of clinching in sort of dog fights. When opponents are coming forward or go to grapple him, he shoots for takedowns, and you can almost see when people are going for grapples, and he'll go for his own takedowns. He got a good 1-2, very decent at landing those punches and kind of transferring over to his grappling. But I think Keita Nakamura has a few more weapons. He tends to be a little riskier, which I think will play into his hand in this fight. Whether he taps him with a strike, puts him on the floor and gets a sub, or possibly another slobber knocker of a fight and possibly a split decision. You never know. I got Nakamura, though. I think this could be a really cool fight, though.
Okay, next up, Movsar Evelev versus Singwoo Choi. I actually got Movsar Evelev in he's unbelievable. But I got him in a parlay with two other things in the card for 3.5 units. At I don't know what the fuck the odds are there. I think plus 149 and plus 162. I got him in a couple, two different ones, two of the same ones, but I got two different ones on the same parlays. But I got Evelev here, 3.5 units on him. I just think this South Korean buddy has been fighting South Koreans. That's about it, man. And you can they're okay, bro. But compared to Russia, not even a fucking chance. Not even a fucking chance. Russia's way higher level than South Korea in MMA. Way higher. It's not even the same fucking thing. They fight completely different. Nobody uses takedowns in South Korea. So this guy's in for a rude awakening because Movsar's one of the best grapplers I've seen in a long time. This guy grappled a black belt very easily. Made him look like his bitch and then fucking knocked him out. And so Movsar's actually got some pretty decent striking as well. I like his striking. I forgot where he trains. I thought it was Muay Thai, but I'm not sure. But he's coming up from 135. He's a pretty big bantamweight too. So he's coming up from 135 to 145. Fought in M1, which is one of the hardest promotions out there. M1 Challenge, one of the toughest promotions out there. I think this Wu Choi guy, he's got some decent striking. Don't get me wrong, definitely a pretty good striker, but not on Movsar Evilev's level. You're going to see Evelev take this guy down at will and brutally beat him up on the floor, maybe even get a sub, who knows. But yeah, I got Movsar Evelev here, 3.5 units on him.
I really like Movsar Evelev's fight against Rafael Diaz. Just super savage fight to the end. Very rough. You don't want to keep your hands down against this guy because very easily can land a two-piece. And once in a guillotine by Lee Morrison, I think the ring that he was fighting in a ring that time, so it wasn't an octagon, but he got trapped in a very, very game-ending guillotine, and he jumped off the bottom or middle rope and kind of like alleviated some of the pressure, moved around. I mean, this kid pulls off some crazy stuff, but it's calculated, and it's a high-risk move, but it's all foreseen beforehand. And he's got pretty good foresight in the striking. He's been getting lots of rear naked chokes as of recently, but ended a fight by a head kick as well in M1. This guy's very technically sound. Sang Woo Choi, on the other hand, I mean, he's definitely had some rough fights, especially having to go up against his opponent who knocked him out early on in the first round, Jae Wong Kim, and actually in the fight that they had after that, it was a rematch. He knocked him out in the second round. So, he had already reclaimed the victory. I think that, yeah, he might not be in the greatest place to have a lot of these MMA fights with guys who are not exactly going for takedowns and not exactly preparing you for that upper echelon level of the UFC. But I think a lot of the fighters that he has fought are not too far away from anyone, garbage can like. But at the end of the day, he likes to throw lots of uppercuts. He's got some decent hands up. He got some great elbows when he goes down to the ground. Likes to really swarm people with little punches and then one big kick or a front knee. He's got some decent takedown entries, but again, it's going to be very difficult to pull him off against Evloev because this guy is definitely defending off of guys who it's their job to grapple with people. And this guy is dig deeper, especially in those late rounds. Can really kind of increase the punch count when it really needs to be there. So get ready for those final 30 seconds or final 10 to be full of strikes. He has some really decent high risk moves. Has a great move where he takes the back and then kind of steps away for a minute and throws like a high kick. Not a lot of people do that, and I understand you don't want to give the back up. But, I mean, some of these people who are good at high kicking, if you take a good enough step, you could definitely step someone up. So I actually really want to see this fight. I still think Movsar Evloev is going to win this fight. I think he's a little bit better balanced, but I still think Choi Seung-woo has a shot at it. But, yeah, I got Evloev in this one. And Choi Seung-woo is a super underdog in this one.
Yeah, he's a pretty big underdog. Sorry, I think the next one's Krzysztof Jotko. I'm about to make another play on Evloev here.
Hold on, it's Jotko and Alan Amidovsky.
Yeah, just give me one sec. So I got Evloev here plus 500 by submission. I think he can land the sub on Siwoo Choi here. So I got 0.25 units on him at plus 500. Just worth a little shot there, I think. Definitely can get the rear naked choke or something on this South Korean guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, I'll let you take our next fight, Gib. Try and be quick with this one, though.
All right. Krzysztof Jotko versus Alan Amidovsky. And Amidovsky, Vegeta, equipped with his signature Vegeta tat. Really like that. This guy's really going in there. Doesn't mind brawling with people, but has lost some fights against some very high-level opponents. This guy fought against Uriah Hall, David Branch, and Brad Tavares. He kind of had a decent fight against David Branch, but it turned out to be a split going Branch's way. Whereas the other 2 fights he had were against Brad Tavares, and this was before Stylebender took him out. So Brad Tavares was undefeated, or was undefeated in the UFC, at least, doing pretty well. Uriah Hall, on the other hand, I mean, this guy's always a surprise. So has been taking on some pretty high level opponents, and I think Alan Amedovski, on the other hand, his first fight in the UFC, so he's got a lot to kind of get used to and check out. But, get ready for the king of swing, man. And I'm not talking about Cesar from the WWE. This guy really swings some really tough, rugged shots at people. This guy throws nothing but kitchen sinks at people. And that's his game plan. He's a very, very similar, like, Mike Perry type style. But, I mean, this guy actually lands those big punches, ends people in first, second, third rounds. Obviously, we're going to have to see how well that does in the UFC, which, again, I kind of think Amedovski's experience is going to really come in handy for him. This guy's pretty decent. He's putting together another return. I mean, he's got 3 losses since then, so he's really got to get this one. He's got to really start throwing those kicks. A lot of the spinning kicks were working on David Branch, so I think he really has to utilize those in his long range. Try to limit the brawls in this one, but I think if he can kind of control them, keep him at a distance, he'll be better than him on all fronts. So I got Alan Amedovski to get his first win back since his last 3.
Okay. I actually got Jotko here. I just think Jotko is I've seen Amedovski like
oh no, sorry, I meant Jotko, my bad. Because sorry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you got Jotko. Yeah, I was saying, like, what do you mean first win in 3 fights? Because Amedovski's undefeated.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I also have Jotko then. I just think Amedovski is a guy, I've seen him struggle with a takedown a little bit. And that's gonna be a little bit of a problem if Jotko decides to use his grappling. I think Jotko is actually a pretty well-polished striker as well. And training in American Top Team with fucking animals. He trains with Colby Covington and Masvidal and all those guys all the time. He's literally training with them all the time. So I think he gets the job done. I think he's a better striker and probably, without a doubt, in my opinion, the better wrestler. So I think he should get that done. Next fight is Antina Shevchenko versus Roxanne Modafferi, and I have Shevchenko in that parlay with Voilev and one more fighter on the card. But I got Shevchenko to absolutely destroy Modafferi, my most confident pick on the card by far. Modafferi is, to me, the biggest joke in the UFC. Yesterday wore what? What the fuck did she wear today or yesterday? Was that Dragon Ball Z or something? I have no idea.
That was her last fight, wasn't it?
The one that just is about to happen. When she weighed in with Shevchenko, she was wearing in the weigh-in. She's wearing
no way. So she did it again. Remember, she did it against someone else.
She's embarrassing, bro. Always dressing up as fucking cartoon characters and shit. Like, oh, good luck. She has probably the worst striking I've ever seen, next to Cindy Dandois. Like the worst striking I've ever seen, for sure. She's okay, I guess, off her back. She likes to throw up arm bars, just throws her leg over, doesn't really position herself well for the arm bar at all. And that's the only thing she throws up off her back. So if she doesn't, if you're in anything other than guard, she's in trouble. And yeah, I think the only thing she's good at is her top came from mount. She can finish people from mount with elbows and stuff like that. But I don't see that happening. Shevchenko and her Modafferi's shots in wrestling are some of the worst takedown attempts I've ever seen in my life. She shoots from fucking 300 yards out. And good luck doing that to Shevchenko. Shevchenko's going to time her perfectly, drop this girl probably, like give her a really bad beating. Like Modafferi is going to get beat up very badly tomorrow, guys. So I got Shevchenko 100% in the 3.5 unit parlay with Evil. I think this is like by far my most confident pick. I've been looking at this fight for fucking so many months now, or whenever it was announced. Like I knew guaranteed she was gonna. I just think she's gonna beat Modafferi 100%. Gib.
Yeah, it's a rough road for Modafari. I mean, she's a vet in the game, and she's kind of made what she's accumulated work for her. She's gotten some pretty decent short shot knockouts, like pretty decent throwing the elbows. Has gotten 2 knockouts that way, one against Shauna Dobson, the other against Barb Hancock. Again, like they're not high level opponents that Antonio Shevchenko could probably fight on that same night and beat. But I still think that it's something. She's just using a lot of stuff that, she's kind of exhausted. She's exhausted a lot of training, and she's really put in a lot. So everything kind of goes by technique, and she tries to really get a lot of sneaky things. But when she starts to run out of energy, you definitely see it. You see a lot of holes in the game. Whereas, Antonia Shevchenko kind of already looked technically sound. I mean, this girl's ready to return fire against anyone. Throw spinning back fists, good jab cross, good high kicks, decent low kicks. I mean, she could be better than her sister. I don't know, but this is her first fight in. Not a big challenge for her. But, I mean, anyone can lose a fight. I get it. You can always slip on that banana peel and have a real bad night. And, I mean, maybe on the ground it could get difficult for her, but Shevchenko definitely has a decent ground game enough. Like, I think she'd be able to move her around. But, I mean, Roxanne Modaffari has to make it really ugly, kind of, throw up against fences and make it stupid. But I still think Shevchenko just has it throughout the entirety of the fight. From round 1 to 3, I can see her just dominating the fight. And, yeah, or getting a knockout early. It's going to take a lot of things that is very new to Roxanne Modaffari just to win, or just to at least have a chance of getting to a decision. So, I mean, this could be one of the biggest underdogs of the card if you're planning on betting on her. But, I mean, I got Shevchenko.
Okay.
But, Roxanne Modaffari is by far the biggest underdog.
I think, well, is she?
Of the night, 100%.
Oh, like in your opinion, yeah.
Yeah, but like on the card.
In general too, I think she's the biggest, yeah. Okay, so next fight, Devin Clark versus Ivan Shtrokov. And I got Ivan Shtrokov in a 2-unit parlay with something else in the card. I just think this guy fucking looks like he can fight at heavyweight. That's 100%. He's fucking enormous. Fights out of Tiger Muay Thai. So, his striking is disgusting. Has one of the nastiest body kicks I've ever seen. Very powerful. Only thing I don't like about him is this guy's cardio. He gas is super quick, especially like in the later rounds. Like round 3, he's really like gassed out. So that's the only bad side I think about him. Other than that, I think he's going to oppose as well on Devin Clark. Don't think Devin's going to be able to take him down. If he does, not more than once, in my opinion. Devin's more of a middleweight, and this guy looks like a fucking heavyweight. And he's a little bit shorter than Devin as well. So I think the height, the stature of him being lower to the low gravity and shit like that is like he's lower to the ground, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for Devin to take him down. And I got Shretov here. I think he might be able to knock out Clark. I don't think Devin's that good off his back either. So if Shretov is on top, he's in trouble. And Shretov is very nasty at submissions too. Like he pulled off an armbar. Fuck, I wish I could recall the fight.
An armbar? Jeff Monson?
Yeah, I don't think it was Monson. No, Thiago Silva.
Oh,
his last fight.
Oh yeah, Thiago Silva.
Unbelievable armbar. He was in guard, and Thiago Silva went for an armbar, and he passed to side control, and then he took Thiago Silva's arm.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, fucking nasty. And so I got Shkretov here. I think he's gonna finish Devin Clark. Only 2 units on him though, because I don't like that cardio, to be honest. If he tightens that shit up, he's gonna be unreal. But this guy is the #1 light heavyweight out of Russia. fucking animal. So undefeated, 16-0 with one draw, and yeah, I got him all day here against Devin Clark.
It's pretty crazy how the last fight that we watched in Toronto had Devin Clark on Rakic, and Rakic was the underdog in that one.
No, Rakic was minus 600 favorite.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay.
Huge favorite, bro. Huge.
But he was the underdog in that one and got wrecked. But
Clark
back fist that he pulled off almost looked accidental. Accidental. Like it was a complete little like blooper, you know. I thought Devin Clark was lighting him up, and he actually got him to the fence, started throwing out some knees. But the thing about Ivan Shchetkov is that he is that kind of build and that kind of thick, like upper body strength that really beats up Devin Clark. He got lost to a very seasoned fighter, Jan Blazkowicz, and it was right up against the fence, which is right at home for Shchetkov. And I mean, this guy's a truck in terms of body strength, power, and very big punches, a very sneaky back fist, which he actually lands on guys who come in for takedowns and kind of like slightly cracks them. Very interesting. And again, uses that bulky muscle shoulder to kind of glance shots off of him. And he can be a little bit timid when it comes to throwing, but man, when you get hit by one of those big overhands, it could be game over. The thing is, Devin Clark is, I think, a little more lively than him, and he's very good at chasing people down and very decent at timing left hooks when people sidestep. And I think it's what cracked Rakic and put him up against the fence for some very big knees that Devin Clark followed up on. And as much as he didn't win that fight, it could have been over there if things were just not going well for Rakic. And I think a lot of the massive short shots that Devin Clark puts out can put people on the floor at a moment's notice, even if they're winning the round. So, I mean, I've been actually, if he gets Devin to the ground, it could be game over. But I like Devin Clark in this fight, and I think he might hit him with some rogue punch that puts him out. Because Devin Clark definitely has some hitting power. It's just once he gets cornered and put up against the fence, it could go away. Yeah, I got Devin Clark in this one.
Okay. Next fight we have Marcelo Gom and Sergey Pavlik. I'll start this one. Okay, so Pavlik just got knocked out. Well, didn't just got knocked out, but last time he fought, I think it was Shanghai. UFC Shanghai. He fought Alistair Overeem. Fucking he got taken down, and then Alistair just gave him those hammer fists and fucking put him out, bro. Like, knocked the fuck out. But Pavlik came in to UFC undefeated. Looked good, man, in Fight Nights Global. Looked actually pretty good. Heavy hands, pretty good Muay Thai, decent wrestler. He's all right, man, Pavlik. But I don't think he should be minus 275, minus 300, whatever he is against Marcelo Gom. This is not only heavyweight. Pavlik just got knocked out.
Yeah.
And Gom only loses to guys, what we've seen, that wrestle him. He doesn't really lose a striking battle all that much. He's a pretty competent striker. I would actually take the shot on Gom at least one unit at plus 200 or more. But I'm all filled up for this event, and I think he can also get knocked out as well, as much as he can knock out Pavlik. But plus 200 is a pretty good shot for Marcelo Gom here. So I'm going to go with Gom. I'm going to pick Gom. I think he's a good underdog here. Pavlik definitely. It could definitely go either way. Both guys can knock each other out 100%.
Yeah.
But I just see Gom. I think Gom just worth the shot at that plus 200. I think if you're gonna, this is a dog or pass situation. So if it's either you're passing on the fight or you play the dog, in my opinion, and you take Marcelo Gom. So I got Marcelo Gom here.
I definitely agree that his wrestling is such a big counter for Marcelo Gom, as Timothy Johnson and Arjun Buller had a lot of success against him, and it's easy to see why, because he's kind of built for kind of standing with people and actually getting the drop on him with some pretty decent 1-2s and some very very good follow-throughs with just being close to opponents and being able to kind of time and land an easy shot. And because it's heavyweight, those easy shots are still very big, and Golm has some power when he throws it, man. And he might not be too good at keeping people back who are at that striking range, but I mean he's got some really good single strike knockout power in his in a lot of his early fights, and has not had much luck since the fight against Christian Colombo. But he battered that guy, and he threw him up against the fence, taking the back, and he actually looked really, really impressive that fight. In a lot of fights, I think that's kind of how people expected him to look, but again, that wrestling game can be very tricky for him. Whereas Sergey Pavlev, he's a very similar kind of chaser. Likes to throw people up against the fence, throw those knees, get people into like phone booth box battles up against the fence. But I think Golm can kind of win those as well if he throws back and counters. And Pavlovich can throw some very, very fierce overhands and left hooks. But sometimes when his kick gets caught, he gets very little cautious, and I think Golm can possibly take us back in this one and maybe even get a sub here. So yeah, I don't think he should be that much of an underdog in this one. So I actually picked him on DraftKings as well, and he's like a 7,000 pick too. Yeah, he's 7,000 exactly. So yeah, I got Golm, and I think he could get a submission in this one.
All right, next fight we got Makhachev and Arman Kaskarian. I'm picking Makhachev in this fight. I was gonna play the dog here, Arman Kaskarian. Wow. I thought plus 350 was pretty outrageous, especially like this guy's a pretty decent wrestler and everything too. I think he trains out of Tiger Muay Thai, which I love. But Makhachev is just something else, guys. Very, very good fighter, like top quality fighter. He's only been finished once, only he's lost once to Adriano Martins, which was kind of, I wouldn't say it's a fluke punch, but like that's a fight he definitely should have won in my opinion. Absolutely murdered Cajun Johnson with that armbar. And then dropped T-Ball like it was nothing too. I just think he's a really good grappler. I love how he takes down people, and he does exactly like training with Khabib obviously helps him so much, but like he does pretty much exactly what Khabib does on the ground. Like hooks both your legs with his legs, goes into mount if he has to. Really heavy ground and pound. He's devastating, bro. He's definitely devastating. Very good fighter in my opinion. Disgusting how he's getting a newcomer in this fight. Makhachev should 100% be getting a top 15 fighter. 100% he should be fighting a top 15 guy.
Like this is kind of disrespect.
Yeah, like this. So I think he's gonna make a statement and show this guy's like really not on his level. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to playing Makhachev at his current price actually, because it's under minus 300, which I think is still some value there. But yeah, I got Makhachev here.
You know what? It's on Makhachev. Bit of a slow starter, but man, does he pressure people just by stepping forward and walking? Because Cajun Johnson can put people on a bit of a treadmill and kind of have them walking while he's running away, and they're just not doing anything. They're standing in one spot, not going anywhere. And he didn't even play with that. He just kept walking forward, kept kind of kiting him towards the fence, and started some dangerous ground game, and was able to put an armbar on him. Didn't even break a sweat in that fight. It was very easy for him. And I think that's how a lot of fights go for the guy. He's got some nice triangles that he puts on people in mount. Like you were saying, he kind of triangles his legs and fits one leg of yours in between when he's on the ground, and can kind of Khabib you in a way and slowly work up the body, and eventually he's almost at your waist. The guy's ready to mount, and man, that armbar is just around the corner. He's ready to go. Cormier really put some respect on him, saying that his grappling's awesome. He always looks to flatten people out. Even though he's very aggressive, once he gets takedowns off the fence, he can put people there and bounce them off the back of the cage, kind of slam them if he wanted to, or even nicely kind of drop them. But what's funny is Armin Tsarkian. This guy spin kicks like it's no tomorrow. Very interesting striking style. Weird how his last fights was. It's a little iffy that his last fight was against someone who had like their first MMA fight ever, and he was like 13 in. So that's a little bit suspicious. But I mean, this guy has some pretty decent sweeps when he gets a hold of people. Kind of goes for a little bit of grappling and kind of looks to schoolyard trip you in a way. There was one replay I saw where he had somebody up against the fence and went for a takedown and almost did a side cartwheel to get onto mount. It was phenomenal. And I mean, if he pulls that move off in the UFC, especially against Makhachev or something like that, shit, man, it could be crazy. But again, this guy is going up against a very, very seasoned vet who has only really lost once. Both of them have only lost once. But, I mean, Islam Makhachev has been fighting at that really, really high top level. I don't exactly think that Islam Makhachev should be co-main eventing with someone who's having their very first fight, like you said. This guy could be main eventing and actually having a shot at the belt. But I don't know, man. I think this Armin kid could do something here and possibly a bit of a setup by the UFC to take out Islam Makhachev.
Never.
You know, I don't know, man. He's got pretty crazy
next beat, bro. That guy's gonna get murdered, eh? Poor kid, bro. His best thing is wrestling, and you're telling me that guy Khabib struggles taking down Makhachev. You think this guy's gonna take down Makhachev? Ho!
Won't take him down, but I could see him throwing a spin kick or something on.
Oh my god, he's awful. All he does is spin. It's fucking embarrassing, bro. Like, it's so easy to. I could take you down if you're spinning, bro. With your back turned to me, that's embarrassing and shit. Fuck that guy. But shout out to that guy, bro. If he wins, like shut him 100%. Like, that'd be sick, bro. If he wins, but like I don't see Makhachev losing to a debuter when Makhachev more than wants to be in the top 10. Like he's calling guys out like Kevin Lee and shit, bro. Like this guy's nothing to him right now. At least in my opinion. So, okay. Who do you got?
I got Armin in this one.
Okay, fuck. It's not a bad play, though. At plus 350, what he is on William Hill, fucking, I think I might be worth the 1 unit shot.
Other than the really suspect fight against, who was it? I'm trying to find his fight against like the 0-0 dude, but like, yeah, man. Other than that, I think he's still technically sound. Okay,
main event of the night. Alistair Overeem taking on Alexei Oleinik. This is my 5th fucking time I think fading Oleinik, maybe 5th or 6th. I'm gonna fade this guy until like it comes clutch for me. Like I'm not gonna stop now, no chance. So I got Alistair here. I have him in the 3.5 unit parlay with Evulaev and Shevchenko. And then I also have the fight does not go to decision here by with 2 units with Ivan Shkrutov. And I got those 2 plays there. I think Alistair's gonna knock out Oleinik pretty quickly. I'm saying the first round, latest the second in my opinion. Oleinik is very sloppy with his strikes, but he throws a very heavy overhand right. And if he gets you to the floor, it's fucked up. Like, he's a very good grappler. Even if you get him to the floor, you're in danger. So Overeem just has to be smart here, be as calculated itself, and use that striking. Overeem's one of the best strikers in the UFC. His strike differential is insane. I think he doesn't even take a strike per minute. I think it's like 0.89 strikes per minute he takes only, which is unbelievable. It doesn't even take 1 strike per minute. And it dishes out way more strikes than that, obviously, like nearly close to 3 per minute. Fucking won Abu Dhabi championships, guys. So he's a fucking outrageous grappler, too. I'm pretty sure he's a black belt. So, like, whereas Oleinik has the grappling advantage with most guys, and certainly in this matchup as well, not as much as he did against Mark Hunt, where if like we knew Mark Hunt, if he gets to the floor, it's fucked up. Like,
but he knocked him out. Actually, he knocked him out standing.
Oh yeah, he dropped him. Yeah, he dropped him standing. Yeah, he dropped him standing. But he finished it with the choke. I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, but that I don't see shit like that. Like Overeem does have a little suspect chin, but
both of them do.
But Overeem's looked like pretty good since the Nagano loss, to be honest. And even before that, he was looking good. The Nagano loss was just something else. Yeah, I got Overeem here. I just think Overeem's striking is going to be way too much. Like, Oleinik's never seen something like that, in my opinion. Like I said, but Overeem won Abu Dhabi championships, right? He's got one of the scariest guillotines you'll ever see in your life. He can pop off your fucking head with a guillotine. And I just think he's going to keep his distance and strike with Oleinik, make Oleinik strike. Because Oleinik's not a good wrestler at all. He just fucking pulls you on top of him pretty much and tries to get the sub. So I think he's going to be able to defend takedowns as well, especially the training before with Curtis Blades and everything. I think that got his wrestling sharpened up, and I think he's going to be able to take out Oleinik here. I think first or second round, like I said. So I got Overeem in the 3.5 unit parlay, and then I got fight doesn't go to decision in a 2 unit parlay. Gib, and I'm just going to get dressed and shit. So Gib, tell them your pick.
Jeez, I got Alistair Overeem in this one. I gotta agree. I think he has the striking all day, and his grappling isn't too bad. I think he can handle a lot of what Oleinik can throw at him. But if it does get to dangerous points, Alexei Oleinik can be very deadly. This guy can get Ezekiel chokes. This guy could get neck cranks. It's this guy's another level from Oven St. Preux. You know what I mean? And this guy's 41 years old. I think this guy is like a uncrowned king, in my opinion. I think this guy could have been champ at some point if he had the right fight at the right time. This guy beat Travis Brown, man. Imagine if that guy had the belt at the time. Again, would lose to some pretty high-level wrestlers like Curtis Blades. But at the end of the day, I mean, he shocked a lot of people. I didn't think he would win that Mark Hunt fight. I just think he's very chinny at times against against some pretty decent strikers. Alistair Overeem is kind of an upper echelon striker than Mark Hunt, and I definitely think he can touch up Oleinik enough that it won't take much. Like you said, I mean, first, second round, this fight could be over. And this is definitely I don't think it'll go to the decision, but if Alistair Overeem leaves Oleinik alone for a little too long, Oleinik can land one of those crazy overhands or some really big punch and make it very difficult for him. Very similar to how he knocked out how he ended Mark Hunt fight. Because again, he wasn't really picked to win the striking battle, but it was the striking that actually got him there in the first place. Whereas Alistair Overeem, you always know this guy can come out with anything. Crazy kicks, and he's very calculated. This guy's been in K1, and he shows his stuff. And unless it's some really big bomb of a punch, which Alexei Oleinik can throw, it's not really going to flatline him. I mean, even the punch that Ngannou threw, that's a hard punch to throw by anybody. At heavyweight, I get it. Everybody's kind of that weight, but I just think that's a different animal you're dealing with. So, Oleinik, man, if this guy wins, it'll be very joy for me. I think this guy should maybe even get a shot at somebody or something. But yeah, I got Alistair Overeem in this one. I think he destroys it, like you said, in less than 2 rounds.
Wow, I'm actually surprised you picked him, to be honest, because
he's one of my favorites, bro.
I know. But you love.
I think they should have made it Oleinik versus Justin Willis. That should have been the.
I would have had Oleinik there. 100%,
oh my god,
100%.
That should have been the fight.
I would have had Oleinik 100%, because Oleinik, if he took down, we already saw what Willis has off his back. Absolutely nothing. So if Oleinik took him down, fucking trouble. A lot of trouble for Willis it would be. And Willis doesn't have super amount of power too. And I'm not saying like I think Overeem can knock this guy out 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But bro, he took a fucking bomb from Mark Hunt, in the first round. What a bomb this guy took on the chin.
He did.
Oh my! And he just wobbled a tiny bit, and like even Paul Felder's like, how the fuck is this guy still on his feet? Like that's fucked.
He staggers a lot, Oleinik, but I mean, once he gets a hold of you, it could be over.
That's the thing. He's always pushing forward. But I think a guy like Overeem's so smart. The way Overeem's been fighting as of late, is very technical, high level kickboxing, like what he grew up on in K1, and he's not full of steroids and shit anymore. So he's not pushing forward with that pressure like he did. Like when he fought Brock Lesnar, that was one of the scariest people I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen somebody like he was on every steroid in the world, maybe.
They were both on every steroid in the world.
Like, even this guy Strotov that's fighting Devin Clark looks like he's on every fucking steroid there is.
Oh, my God. That guy's a brick house.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking steroid junkie. But, yeah, I got Overeem here, guys. Just quick review of the plays here. So I got Overeem 3.5 unit parlay with Overeem, Shevchenko, and Movsar Evloev. I also have a 2-unit parlay with the fight doesn't go the distance in the main event, and Ivan Strotov, the fucking steroid master. 3 units on Gazarmad Antibulov at plus 175, and then 0.25 units on Movsar Evloev by submission at plus 500. Give them your DraftKings if you made one.
So my DraftKings is I got Devin Clark, I got Jotko, Alistair Overeem, Shevchenko, Tazakian, and Marcin Tybura. For another one, I have Nakamura, I have Evoliev, I have Clark, I have Antigolev, Tybura, and again Pavlovich. Sorry.
That's the best. Okay, sick, boys. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week for UFC on ESPN 3. Jacare versus Hermanson. Fucking good fight. Really good card, man. Mike Perry fighting Cowboy Oliveira.
That's a good match.
Greg Hardy again, and I can't wait to see. I hope he loses, to be honest, but I know
I think it's time to get Greg Hardy out of there.
Oh, if he loses this, you got to cut him. You have to cut him. You got to cut him. He's what? He'll be 4-2. If he loses against Dmitry Smolakov,
think about this.
That's fucking bad, eh?
They want to cut him, and he's winning fights. Technically, he's winning fights. He's doing better than CM Punk, but they still want to kick him out.
Yeah, I don't think they want to kick him out because like they're putting him again in the co-main event spot. I think Dana's actually trying to boost this guy. Like
I don't know why. I think that ended a long time ago.
I think Dana's like still trying to like if he loses this fight, Dana will give him a harder jobber to probably lose to. But I see Dana like if he wins this fight, Dana's gonna push this guy like crazy, like crazy, bro. He's so athletic and shit. If Greg Hardy gets his stuff down, his wrestling down, his cardio, he's gonna be very scary. Don't get me wrong. Oh, the guy's got a lot of freak power, bro. He's super athletic. Like first team All Pro in the NFL for defensive end guys. Like he's a high level athlete, like very high level, like probably the best athlete in the UFC, 100%.
They say football players are the best athlete to transfer into MMA. Generally,
we saw it with Eric Anders. We saw it with Dominic Reyes. But yeah, okay. So next week, some good fights as well, guys. But till next time, we'll see you next week. This has been the Quarter Pound Podcast. Actually, a lot longer than we expected, but hey, let's fuck it. And we always try and produce for you guys. So that was probably like close to an hour episode, anyways.
That's not too bad.
So, yeah, not bad. But good stuff. Shout out my boy Gib, Sebs. You already know what it is. Quarter Pound Podcast. And our mascot, Gibbs' beautiful doggy in the back. That's our mascot, 100%.
You already know.
That's a Quarter Pound Podcast. What's your dog's name again?
Colby.
Oh my God, what a beautiful guy. Okay, I love him. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week. Take care.
See everyone.